Hi, my name is Vincent Berry II. I have a very beautiful story, and we'll get into a little bit of it. But ultimately, I went to Morehouse College, majored in business administration with a concentration in accounting. But I was always a creator. I'm from Detroit, Michigan, and so music was a part of just the community in Detroit. And one day, about 2 months before graduation, my professor told me that the best thing you can own in the world, or the best thing that anybody will own that you will help, brother, as an accountant, will be a copyright. You have 120 years built in of revenue generating potential. And that kind of played over in my head over and over again as I'm thinking about these 500 songs that I got in my iTunes. And I'm like, bro, I got 500 songs, my man. And he's like, well, you rich already. I don't know who told you to come to college, my man. You need to go learn how to sell your songs. And I'm the president of my fraternity at the time, the boss list of Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated. I was the president of Phi Alpha Delta Law Fraternity. And I hear him say that, Rue, and I hear that and I say, oh my God. Close my laptop, move to LA, live homeless for 3 years, eventually getting a song to Beyonce. We eventually won a Grammy. I produced a song on Lemonade called Sandcastles. I never sold my song. I own my song. Went on to work with Migos, Mary J. Blige, and so many other people. I'm the head of music for a film company now called Film Engine, and I'm just here to teach our people how to own their music at the end of the day, and I think blockchain is going to help to accelerate what that ownership and monetization looks like.
Nice, thank you. Business model of music, I'd like to say artists are first to show up for work and then last to be paid.
Definitely.
Would you like to chime in on that? Both of you guys
Yes, sir,
understand
man.
that space
I
quite
think
well.
this is another thing that I think the blockchain does. It doesn't have anything to do with necessarily paying us right now, but I think it has everything to do with us giving us insight on exactly where the money is. Right? Imagine having that power to know exactly where the money is. So at any given point in the music industry, $2.8 billion is unpaid to creators. And you don't know how much of that is your money, right? But when you start working with bigger artists, then a larger share of that becomes your money, right? But there's an 18-month latency between the time that my music is released, between the time that I'm able to. That's how I feel every
They
single
don't tell you
day.
that
No
when you make
interest.
your record.
18-month latency.
Yes.
And I used to work for a No Child Left Behind company. We used to tutor kids in Detroit, Michigan. We had 1,900 kids we were tutoring, but we were net 90, and net 90 was still hard. We still had to find a bank to finance what we're doing in order to pay these tutors on a weekly basis to get to the money. And net 90 is crazy, but I'm talking about net 2 years. Who can actually live a sustainable life waiting 2 years for your money? Nobody, right? And so it's not intended for you to. So what the industry did, as my brother shared, if you don't look at the past, we'll never understand what's coming. And this is what blockchain gives us the power to participate on every area where there's a right in conjunction with my creative ability, right? So when you create a song, when I write a song, there's a publishing right being created, but there's also a master right being created. This was the play by the labels. It was the dopest play of all time, right? In other words, I'm going to find these black folk who make music. I'm going to finance their music creation by putting them in a studio. But when they write that song, they think it's one song, they think it's one right being created. No. But there's two rights being created, and we're going to break down this pub, but we're going to take 100% of the masters on them. So when you license your music in the commercial, they pay you $100,000 for the publishing, but they got to pay $100,000 for the master too. And you don't own none of that. Whoever paid for that session to be created is who owns that master right. And for me, the idea is to own your own equipment so that you can own more of your creation.
Let me do this just for time's sake, and I want
Sorry,
you to
bro, I
chime
just had
in.
to- I had to
No,
get
that's
that.
very important. And what I want you to do, we spoke on Beyonce. You got a player deal to do, or she gave you a player deal, right? In
Changed
terms
my
of
life.
percentage.
Yeah, she changed my life. For sure.
I want you to share with the audience how this would relate to a smart contract in terms of the percentages of the
Awesome.
song
This
that
is-
you
this
wrote.
is-
This
this
is
is
very
perfect.
important for everybody to understand, because then not only you could replicate this song with life.
No, this song is the perfect example because of how the business happens. So fast forward, again, I don't believe in taking people's IP. I don't believe in taking people's relationships without compensating them for it, right? There's got to be a way for them to benefit, some kind of incentive to make this play for you. And nothing is happening just because you're a good person. Nobody cares that you're talented, bro. The whole nation talented. I can go to any place in this country where black people are and find somebody who can write songs just as good as I can write songs. He probably can sing better, probably look better, right? So the idea is you ain't that special, bro. So you've got to build people into your business. So the young lady who placed this song for me on Beyonce is a young lady I met at random, right? So number one, be kind to people. You don't never know who you're meeting. You never know who you're talking to.
Right
So
here at Push Tech.
Right? Just be nice. You don't know who in the room. You don't know who you sit next to. So just be nice, right? That's the first level. Number two, I meet this girl. She's like, yo, man, you know, she just started crying when she hears this song. I mean, just crocodile tears. And I'm like, man, that's what I wrote it for. You know, I produced it technically. I produced Sandcastles, co-wrote it with a brother named Malik Yusuf. He wrote most of these words. He heard it in his head years ago. He came to me and said, this song is for Tiana Taylor. And when I heard it, I said, no, bro, this song is for Beyonce. And then it's the fastest song that I've placed in my career. A couple months later, I meet this young lady named Medea Mathers. And she hears the song, she starts crying, and she says to me, yo, I want to sing this in a showcase. I said, my lady, I'm so sorry, man. I've been homeless to hold on to these songs, baby. I can help you find some songs, though. They got, you know, I Will Always Love You, Whitney Houston. They got Unbreak My Heart, Tony Braxton. I can riddle you off some smashes that you can sing, baby, but you can't sing this one. And the most I was like, bro, why not? You sleeping in your car, bro. This might be how I'm trying to bless you. Literally in my head while I'm sitting in front of the girl. I said, you know what? Let me change that. Don't tell nobody you wrote my song. Don't give it to nobody, and you can sing it. Because really what I'm looking for is people who cry from hearing it, right? To be the voices, the billboards, to articulate it to the people. So if it don't move you, don't sing my song, right? I only want people singing my song, big brother, that's moved by my song. So she crying, you the girl. Fast forward, I give her the song. A couple weeks later, she called me, yo, you're going to hate me, but you're going to love me. I had to give your song away. I'm thinking, oh, my God. She like, but I gave it to Beyonce's manager, Teresa Libera. I'm saying, my lady, you give it to her every time. You know what I'm saying?
Don't listen
Skip
to me.
Everything I said.
Don't listen to me, right?
Listen, I could have snapped on her immediately. So I'm saying, just listen. You know what I'm saying? I had to give it to Beyonce, and the lady started crying too. I said, my Lord. You know what I'm saying? She called me. She said, yo, I can't believe you don't have a publisher. This is crazy to me. I can't believe you're not signed. She told me about your situation. If you hold on, just don't tell nobody about it because Beyonce wants a private, secret release. But if you don't tell nobody, I can guarantee you this song is on the album. You know what I'm saying? So now, but the problem is it took another year, almost a year and a half for it to come out. So in my mind,
Get to the business. Tell them the business.
I got Beyonce. All of this is important for the business because if you don't understand how the play happened, then you won't know how to emulate it in your life. Right, so this young lady makes this play for me. Fast forward, it's a year later. I'm waiting on understanding for this song to come out, but this girl made the play. So it's time for the publishing. How do we break this down? Right, I gave her 10% of the publishing from the beginning.
Amen.
Right, which is fundamental because
That changed her life, too.
if you don't, it opened up door. And I listed her as a songwriter on the song. So when people
Wowzers.
read the song, they don't know who
Wowzers.
wrote it. They don't know who produced it. They just see all of our name
That's
and boom.
big.
Now, when Beyonce came in, she wanted 20% of the song, but her publisher wanted more than that, right? So he tells us after we Beyonce only want 20. Oh man, we lit. She only want 20. Perfect. He come back. No, I want 25. Now we've already agreed on splits. Now I got to go back and
Listen to this.
had these conversations with people, and it wasn't at the easiest conversation to have. To tell somebody, I got to take some more pub from you. I got to say, what you doing, bro? You already got more than me. I'm like, bro, it's not about that. She wants more. So what I realized, what smart contracts does is it brings it all the way down from the beginning, right? So she had 10% from the song. Then when Beyonce came in, everybody went lower than that. And now it's like a conversation of integrity. It's a conversation of you didn't factor in how much she was going to take. And these are the kind of complications that happen every single day. These are the conversations that ruin relationships. This the kind of shit, sorry, excuse my language. This the kind of stuff, excuse my language, y'all, but this the kind of stuff that make Jay-Z and Damon Dash no longer business partners. This the kind of stuff that make L.A. Reid and Babyface no longer business partners, not being able to have these conversations. Blockchain makes it a conversation that we don't even got to sit here arguing with each other. This is going to be built in from the beginning, from the inception of the right. We have an understanding of how this is going to be split, and at that point, you have an industry that we can trust again, creators who are creator for choosing to work in corporate America who's saying, you know what, I'll keep my songs to myself because there's millions of those people who refuse to get involved with the record labels. once they see a trusted industry, now they come out of the dark, baby, and we got incredible music again in the world, and that's really what I want. I want music that we can be proud of. Music. When I think about Motown, the Funk Brothers, 86 #1 records. You can put the Beatles and Rolling Stone and all those Beach Boys, put them together, and they don't have 86 #1 records, right? And that's from our community. We gave the pop music was R&B music, right? But if we don't trust the space, if we don't trust our ability to monetize off our creation, then I can do something else. I went to school for business administration. I'm gonna get into tech, right? So my idea is to create something that's disruptive and decentralized to make this a sustainable industry again.
I love it, love it, love it, love it. Vincent, I'm gonna direct this question to you, and Bila, feel free to jump in. What are some of the typical issues artists face today that blockchain technologies appears to provide a solution to?
So one of the things is the lack of continuity in the legal agreements that you sign as a producer, right? I've had the privilege of working with Beyonce, but I've also had the privilege of working with the Migos and Sean Paul and Shaggy and Mary J. Blige and Tamar Braxton and so many other people. And then you get into TV and film and commercials and licensing and synchronization license. So there's a whole bunch of stuff going on, and there's a whole bunch of language that can be confusing to somebody who hasn't learned legal jargon. You just signing a bunch of papers. You say, I'm assigning. This is what made me not sign to a big publisher. The contract said I assign my rights over to blah, blah, blah publishing company wholly and completely. In my mind, wholly was enough. Wholly and completely sounds so that sounds deep. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'll wait for my money, wholly and completely. I'm from Detroit. I don't know what wholly and completely means. Right? So blockchain gives us the ability to have a contract that can be translated across the entire platform. There's a continuity in our contract, smart contracts. I'm going to sign the same contract that my brother signed, right? And that's very important, to be able to have a contract that's broken down in languages that's not convoluted with these elevated definitions that are hard to understand from the lay people who are typically the creators. To my next thought, when I think about blockchain, I was talking to a friend of mine, and we've been ideating about this for about 4 or 5 years, and about 3 years, he took a turn that I didn't take. He went to MIT to a blockchain program and actually got his degree in this conversation. And what I was talking to him about 2 nights ago, he said something I thought was so brilliant. His name is Daryl Farmer. I don't take people's intellectual property. This is why I'm actually diving into this technology, so that I can help people save their property. So this is a perfect example for me to give him his credit. Daryl Farmer Jr., he said that blockchain gives us the ability to make our content conscious, right? Imagine if your content knew who wrote it. You know what I'm saying? And knew exactly every place where where I'm being monetized, and exactly how much I owe Vince, and exactly how much I owe you, and the labels and the distributors. Blockchain gives our content the ability to understand itself, right, and protect itself. And I think that's an extreme value when you have tons of people taking your music and it's being placed all over the world, and 30,000 people singing covers of your song on YouTube and all over. You need something to help you manage all of the revenue that's being generated from your content.
Well, Vincent,